There's a fear that many of us as therapists have. It's the fear that we don't know what to do. And it's a fear that we feel like we can't talk about because we're the ones people come to when they're hurting, when they really need help. And the fear is not always just a fear. Sometimes it's also a reality. Sometimes you don't know what to do, what to say, or how to handle certain situations. I don't think this is your fault. I think we're taught theory and we're taught history and we're taught models, but we're not often taught as therapists like what to do in the room with a client. My name is Jordan, the counselor. I hold a PhD. I also am an LMFT and LPC and a supervisor in both. And what I believe is that we can fundamentally change the way that we train therapists, and that if we do that, if we can really change the way we train therapists, so that we have actionable skills, and therapists bring their innate humanity into the work, those are powerful forces for change. And the first thing we have to learn is to really see what's happening in the session, really learn to observe what's happening in the moment to moment. So let me show you what I mean. This is a tape of Carl Rogers working with a client named Gloria. And we're almost to the end of this session. But at this point in the therapy, Gloria is now exploring her own relationship with her father. So let's see how Carl Rogers handles this.
Yeah, I couldn't be open, but I want to blame it on him. I think I'm more open than he'd allow me. I mean, he would never listen to me talk like you are and not disapprove or not lower me down. Yeah, I thought of this the other day. Why do I always have to be so perfect? I know why. He always wanted me to be perfect. I always had to be better. And yeah, I miss that.
You're just trying like hell to be the girl he wants you to be.
Yeah, at the same.
So this is a really important thing. And this is not just important for us as therapists, it's also really important for us as parents. I see this a lot with my adult clients who have older parents, right? Clients who are in their 30s or 40s, or parents who are in their 60s, 70s, 80s. They feel this real disconnection between themselves and their parents. This is happening across the US, maybe across the world, I don't know, but definitely in the US. And it's what's happening right here. And I want to review this moment and break it down because this is the key, not just to helping our clients, but for us to have a good relationship with our parents and with our kids. Gloria's saying, I wish I could talk to my dad like I'm talking to you and have him just listen. Now, what happens most of the time is children, adult children, will talk to their parents, and the parents will say something like, I'm hearing you, and then give advice. Rogers doesn't do that. Even in this moment, watch what Rogers does.
Me down. Yeah, I thought of it, but I want to blame it on him. I think I'm more open than he'd allow me. I mean, he would never listen to me talk like you are and not disapprove or not lower me down. Yeah, I thought of this the other day. Why do I always have to be so perfect? I know why. He always wanted me to be perfect. I always had to be better. And yeah, I miss that.
You're just trying like hell to be the girl he wants you to be.
Yeah, at the same time rebelling.
Sure.
All Rogers does is repeat back to her what she's saying. That's all he does. She's trying like hell to be the girl who he wants you to be. That's all he does. He's always done this entire session. If you watch the earlier videos in the series, that's all he's done this entire time. And what is Gloria saying? This is so much better than what I get from my own dad. Sometimes when we listen to people, I think we make it a lot more complicated. And it doesn't have to be that complicated. We just have to tell them, show them that we hear them and do it in a way that conveys that there's no judgment. That's it. In a second, Gloria's going to tell us what usually happens with her dad. And I want you to notice the difference.
Like I almost gloated writing him a letter the other day and telling him I'm a waitress, which I expect him to disapprove of. I go out at nights, and I almost gloated, hitting him back like, now, how do you like me? And yet I really want acceptance and love from him. I mean, I know he loves
So
me.
you slap at him and say, "This is what I am now, see?"
Yeah.
But
You
underneath-
raised me. How do you like it?
Yeah.
But you know what I think I want him to say? I knew this was you all along, honey, and I really love you.
And I guess you really feel badly that you think there's very little chance he'll say that.
No, he won't. He doesn't hear. I went back home to him about 2 years ago, really wanting to let him know I loved him, although I've been afraid of him. And he doesn't hear me. He just keeps saying things like, honey, you know I love you. You know I've always loved you. And he doesn't hear.
You see that? I mean, she's even tearing up. You can see it in her face. I saw it right over here. She's saying what he's going to say. What he said is, "Honey, you know I love you. You know I love you." And that doesn't resonate with her. It doesn't hit this longing she has to really be approved and seen by her dad. This is a really tricky thing for people to get. And I think it's a really important thing for us as therapists to get. It's one, like all Rogers, what she's telling us is, Rogers, you've been saying to me, you've been reflecting back to me everything that I've said for the past 30 minutes of this session. And I feel so hurt by you. And my dad says, honey, you know I love you. And it doesn't land. And the question is, how is it that saying, you know I love you, doesn't land? But Roger's just reflecting back what she's saying. She feels very hurt. There's two parts to this. The first part is, it's that old adage from middle school, right? Show, don't tell. When you reflect back to someone what they're saying, you're showing them that you understand. Because you're literally showing them your understanding. If you say to me, hey, I feel like my dad didn't love me and I wanted him to really approve of me, and I literally tell back to you what I understood you to say, yeah, you're like, it consumes you. You think about it all the time and you really wish he loved you more. Then you know that I've understood you. So of course you feel understood. That's very different than, you know I love you. Right? That's more telling you that I understand, but it's not really showing you that I understand. The second thing is probably tone. And this is something people don't like to talk about. But when you say, you know I love you, there's dismissiveness. I mean, she's sort of, when she's telling us what her father says, she's saying it in a way that we at least know how she's receiving it. She's receiving it as this dismissiveness of her longing to be close to her father. It's almost like, I don't have to tell you because you already know. That's different than Rogers, who in his tone and body language, he's like all in. You can see by how he's leaning forward. He's making a lot of eye contact. He's really watching her. Like, he's being very, very present. Let's watch all this one more time.
Chance he'll say that.
No, he won't.
And I guess you really feel bad.
So she's tearing up, and Rogers is leaning forward, totally engaged, and all he does is reflect back to her, right? Which is demonstrating his understanding.
That you think there's very little chance he'll say that.
No, he won't. He doesn't hear. I went back home to him about 2 years ago, really wanting to let him know I loved him, although I've been afraid of him. And he doesn't hear me. He just keeps saying things like, honey, you know I love you. You know I've always loved you. And he doesn't hear.
Honey, you know I loved you. Yeah, she feels very dismissed, and it's been really painful for her for a very long time.
Never really known you and loved you. And this somehow is what brings the tears inside.
I don't know what it is. You know, when I talk about it, it feels more flip. If I just sit still a minute, it feels like a great big hurt down there, that I feel cheated.
It's much, it's much easier to be a little flip, because then you don't feel that big lump inside of hurt. Mm-hmm.
And again, that's a hopeless situation.
Mm-hmm.
I tried working on it, and I feel it's something I have to accept. My father just isn't the type of man I'd really like. I'd like somebody more understanding and caring. He cares, but not in a way that we can cooperate or communicate.
And this is something I've seen a lot with my own clients, where they sort of know that their parents love them, but there's still this longing, this emotional need that's not being met. And that's what Gloria's saying here, right? She's saying, I have this need to be close to my dad, and I'm never going to get that filled. And so, even though I know that he loves me, like he would do anything for me, this emotional longing that I have is not is still being is still not being filled.
I feel, nope, that's, I am permanently cheated.
Mm-hmm. That's why I like substitutes. Like I like talking to you, and I like men that I can respect, doctors, and I keep sort of maybe underneath feeling like we're real close, and it's sort of like a substitute father.
I don't feel that's pretending.
Oh, you're not really my father.
No, I meant about the real close business.
Well, see, I sort of feel that's pretending too, because I can't expect you to feel very close to me. You don't know me that well.
No, all I can do is what I am feeling. That is, I feel close to you in this moment.
And there you go. The magic of Carl Rogers. You can see how much it really means to her to be really seen and understood and to feel close to Carl Rogers. Before I go, I just want to say I think that this is a really important lesson for all of us as we move into this world that we're moving into, which is very strange. It's a very strange world that we're moving into. I think our human relationships are even more important. And I think that the relationships between fathers and sons and daughters and fathers and everyone else is really, really important. And I have 3 kids. I have 3 sons, and I think a lot about what it means to be close to them throughout the rest of their lives. And so I think about this concept, this idea, this of a lot of how do I tell my kids, how do I tell my sons, hey, I see you and I understand you. And because I don't want to have happen between me and them, what I see has happened to a lot of my colleagues and friends and clients, where there's this permanent rift between them and their parents, where they feel like their parents just haven't quite met this need that they really have. Yeah, I don't want that from you and my kids, and I would expect that you don't want that for you and your kids or you and your parents as well. So this is something to really learn: is how to listen really, really well. All right. Look, if you enjoy these sort of breakdowns, subscribe. You can also find me at jordanthecounselor.com/subscribe. And I send out a newsletter at least twice a week, and I send out these video breakdowns regularly. Until next time.